Chosen one, stop right now. This is not a casual message, and you did not arrive here by accident. Out of everything that could be pulling at your attention today, something in you went still and said, listen to this one. Honor that. Because for months now you have felt it. Plans stalling, doors quietly closing, a strange weight settling over an ordinary life. And underneath all of it, a small voice you could not quite explain, whispering that something was about to change. You were right. Heaven does not interrupt a life it has forgotten. It interrupts the one it is about to redirect. What you have been calling disruption was a recalculation. What felt like being stuck was the pause before a launch. And recently, suddenly, on time, that was already appointed for you, something was released over your life. That is why your body reacted to the word emergency. Part of you already knows. So take one slow breath with me, lower the noise around you, and be fully here. Because in the next few minutes I am going to show you what changed, why it changed now, and where this corrected road is carrying you. Before I go any further, one honest note. Everything I share in this message is free, and it is yours to keep. If at some point along the way your spirit tells you there is something more you need, you will find a link waiting in the description and the pinned comment below. There is no rush, only move toward it if you feel led. And let me tell you why it is worth staying with me all the way to the end. By the time this message closes, you are going to understand exactly what shifted over your life and why it happened in this exact season. You are going to see the 3 areas heaven is quietly reorganizing right now, and what each one will feel like as it moves. I am going to give you a simple way to tell the difference between a true redirection and ordinary fear, so you stop mistaking one for the other. And at the very end, we are going to seal all of it together, so you walk away lighter than you came. So stay. Every part of this builds on the one before it, and the most important piece comes near the close. Let me start with what you have already been feeling, because you have been feeling it for a while now. There is a tiredness in you that sleep does not seem to fix. You lie down exhausted, and then your eyes open at the same strange hour of the night, wide awake, with no reason you can name. There is a restlessness sitting just under your skin, even on the calm days, like your body is waiting for a phone to ring. And then there are the waves, the moods that move through you without permission, a wash of peace, then a stab of sadness, then a quiet hope, all in a single afternoon, none of it tied to anything that actually happened. You walk into rooms that used to feel like home, and suddenly they feel too small, too loud, a little behind where you are now. People keep asking if you are okay. You keep saying yes. But the truth, the one you have not said out loud, is that you feel like you are standing right at the edge of something. Here is what I need you to understand. None of that is breakdown. It is notification. The same way your phone gives a small buzz a moment before the message actually appears on the screen, your spirit has been buzzing before the announcement reached your mind. That waking at the same hour is not a malfunction. It is your inner life being pulled awake to receive something. That restlessness is not anxiety. It is your system registering that a change has already been sent. Those waves of feeling are not you falling apart. They are old weight loosening so it can finally move out of you. And that sense that the old places no longer fit, that is not you becoming cold or difficult. It is you outgrowing a road you were never meant to stay on. And then there are the smaller signs, the ones you almost laugh off. The same numbers showing up on the clock, on a receipt, on a license plate, until you start to wonder the strange way you ended up right here, on this exact message, today of all days, when you could have been anywhere else. You can call that coincidence if you want, but somewhere underneath the doubt, a quieter part of you knows it was not. You were led here, not by chance, by design. And the fact that you stopped, when so many would have kept scrolling, tells me you are exactly the kind of person this update was sent to find. So do something gentle with me right now, wherever you are. You do not need to move or get up. Just let your shoulders drop, even an inch, and breathe out slowly, the way you would set down something heavy you have carried too long. As you let that breath go, picture every strange feeling of these last weeks, not as a warning light, but as a small notification glowing softly, waiting to be opened. You do not have to be afraid of any of it. You only have to be willing to read what it says. And that is exactly what we are about to do together. Now let me answer the question that has probably been sitting in your chest this whole season. If all of this is a redirection, then why did it have to feel so much like loss? Why did the thing you were building slow down right when you were so close? Why did the season turn so quiet? Here is the part almost no one explains. Before a life is redirected, it is usually emptied first. The chapter you thought you were failing at, you were actually finishing. The relationships that fell away were not punishment. They were the root being cleared. And the version of you that worked so hard to hold everything together, the one who needed to manage every outcome and could never quite rest, that version had to grow tired enough to finally loosen its grip. None of that was wasted. It was formation. You were not falling behind. You were being prepared in private for something that is about to become public. And the timing of it is not random either. There is an old word worth knowing here, a Greek word, kairos. We usually think of time as one single thing, the kind you measure on a clock, one ordinary minute after another, one grey day after the next. The Greeks had a word for that too, chronos. But kairos meant something completely different. Kairos was the appointed moment, the charged, once in a long while moment, when everything lines up and a door opens that was not open yesterday and may not be open next month. It is the difference between any old Tuesday and the single afternoon that turns the whole direction of your life. That is what the word emergency in this message really points to. Not danger, timing. You are not living in ordinary clock time right now. You have walked into a kairos window, and that is why everything feels so charged, so urgent, so unlike the months that came before. Think of the oldest stories. A man named Moses was just walking through the wilderness, doing the same plain work he had done for years, when something stopped him cold, a bush that burned but never turned to ash. He could have walked right past it. Most people would have. But he turned aside to look, and in that one small turning, his entire life was rerouted. He went from a forgotten man tending someone else's sheep to the one who would lead a whole people into freedom. The update did not arrive when he felt ready. It arrived the moment he was simply willing to stop and pay attention. That is all that is being asked of you today. So let me give you the truest picture of what this season really is. Imagine you are driving at night, sure of your destination, confident of every turn, and then the voice on the dashboard says one word: recalculating. For a second your stomach drops. Did I take a wrong turn? Am I lost? But the navigation was not punishing you. It saw something ahead that you could not see from where you were sitting. A road closed, a danger waiting, a faster way you never knew existed. The detour that felt like failure was protection and promotion happening at the very same time. That is your last few months. Everything that stopped, everything that turned you around, everything that made you feel lost inside your own life, that was the recalculating, and the new route is loading right now. And here is what I keep hearing, quietly, as I sit with this message for you. I hear the Spirit saying, I did not bring you this far to leave you stranded on the old road. I closed what I closed because I love you too much to let you arrive somewhere that would have cost you everything. Trust the turn. The destination is better than the one you had planned. Let me pause here for just a moment, because I know that was a lot. You have been listening for several minutes now. Your body is in a certain position. Your breathing has its own rhythm. Before we go on, just breathe once, slowly, all the way down, and let it settle. Nothing to fix, nothing to figure out. Just let it be true for a moment. And when you are ready, stay with me, because what comes next is the part that matters most. Now I have to tell you something about how this kind of restoration actually works, because it does not happen in a single moment. The people who study the brain and the spirit together have found that coming back to who you were always meant to be happens in a sequence, one piece quietly preparing the way for the next. And today, we are only going to open the very first door of that sequence. Which brings me to something I want to plant in your mind now, even though we will come back to it in more depth a little later. As I studied why so many people feel this exact gap, this distance between who they once were and who they became, I kept running into the same quiet discovery. There is a specific frequency in the brain, one you had in abundance as a child, that the modern world slowly switched off in you. And one of the researchers who gave his life to this, a neuroscientist named Dr. Robert Lake, built a simple way to switch it back on. He called it the Genius Song. It is not a teaching or a course. It is a short piece of sound, measured in real laboratories, made to gently wake that frequency back up while you simply sit and listen. I am not going to walk you through all of it right now, because there is more of the message you need first. But if your spirit is already leaning toward it, you know where the link is waiting. For everyone else, stay with me, because the next part is where all of this comes together. Because here is what I have not told you yet. This update is not vague. It is not just a feeling of change in the air. It is reorganizing 3 specific areas of your life right now, and each one is going to move in a way you can actually recognize, if you know what to look for. There is the part about the people around you. There is the part about your purpose. And there is the part about provision, about the doors that open and the way things finally begin to flow. But there is also one quiet trap, one thing that could cause you to miss the entire redirection, even while it is happening to you. I am going to show you all of it. Stay with me, because the moment you see these 3 shifts clearly, you will never read this season the same way again. Welcome back. Before we lost the thread, I made you a promise. 3 shifts, 3 specific areas heaven is reorganizing in this season, each one moving in a way you can actually feel and name. So let us open them one at a time, slowly, because this is the heart of the update, and I do not want you to miss a single word of it. The first area is the people around you. For those of you stepping into this season, you are going to notice that certain relationships begin to loosen. People you were sure would be in your life forever may start to drift. Conversations grow shorter. Old bonds quietly fade. And I want to be honest with you about how that feels, because at first it does not feel like blessing at all. It aches. You will question whether you pushed them away. You will wonder if something is wrong with you. So here is what not to do. Do not chase them. Do not force what has already finished its season. And here is what to trust instead. Just when you are sure you have been left completely alone, the right people, the ones who speak your language without you ever having to explain yourself, will begin to appear. The reroute is not taking your people away to punish you. It is making room for the ones who belong on the new road. The second area is your purpose, your calling, the reason you are here. For so long, it has felt blurry, like a word stuck on the tip of your tongue that you could never quite say out loud. In this season, that begins to sharpen. You will feel a strange new clarity about what you are meant to do, and just as often, a clarity about what you are finally meant to stop doing. It can feel frightening, because clarity asks something of you. So do not rush to have every answer at once, and do not look down on how small the first step seems. What to trust is this. You were positioned, very deliberately, for this exact moment. There is an old story of a young woman named Esther, an ordinary person, who was quietly placed inside a palace, and when the hour of crisis finally came, she was told that perhaps she had been brought there for such a time as this. That is you. You are not late. You were placed here on purpose, for a purpose, and this is the season it begins to show. The third area is provision, the practical flow of your life, the doors and the resources and the timing of things. This one is often the last to move, and that is on purpose, because it is the proof that arrives after the trust, not before it. You will start to see small openings where there used to be only walls, a door no one expected, a timing that is suddenly right. What not to do is grab at it out of fear or try to force it open a day before it is ready. What to trust is that provision on the new road does not work the way it did on the old one. It does not always come early, but it comes on time, on appointed time, exactly when you need it, and not a single moment before. Now, before we go on, let me hand you something simple to carry, because you are going to need a way to tell the difference between a true redirection and plain old fear. I call it the stillness check. The next time you feel that pull to make a sudden change, pause and notice what your body does underneath the thought. Fear makes the body spike. It tightens your chest, speeds your breath, and shouts at you to act this very second or lose everything. A true redirection does the opposite. Underneath the surface nerves, there is a strange settling, a quiet that says, "This is right, even though it is hard." Fear screams now, direction whispers, yes. Learn to feel that difference, and you will rarely take a wrong turn again. Can you feel what is happening as I lay all of this out? Somewhere in you, the pieces are clicking into place. The tiredness, the closed doors, the people who drifted, the new clarity rising, the settled feeling underneath the fear. It was never chaos. It was a plan. It was an update being written over your life with more care than you ever knew you were worth. So let me gather all of it into a few plain words so you can hold it clearly before we go further. Everything strange you have felt lately was a notification, not a breakdown. The disruption was a recalculation, a rerouting away from a road that would have cost you. The reason it is all happening now is that you have stepped into an appointed window, a kairos season, and the update itself is reorganizing three things: your relationships, your purpose, and your provision, moving each one toward the new road. That is the message. That is what changed. Now, let me show you something that can help you actually walk it out. Remember a few minutes ago when I mentioned the Genius song and then asked you to wait? This is where I keep that promise and tell you the whole of it. Here is why this matters so much for someone like you. You were not born ordinary. The reason childhood felt so alive, the reason you learned fast and felt deeply and seemed to sense things before they happened, is that you carried more of a certain brainwave than most people ever do. Scientists call it gamma. It is the frequency of insight, of intuition, of those rare moments when everything just flows. And here is the quiet tragedy. Modern life, starting somewhere around the age of 7, slowly turns that frequency down in almost everyone. But the ones who started with the most, the sensitive ones, the chosen ones, feel the loss the hardest. That gap you feel between who you used to be and who you became, that is not your imagination. That is your gamma, dimmed. Let me tell you about a woman who wrote in to share her story. She was 38, and she had tried everything. Years of meditation, yoga, retreat after retreat, all of it searching for a connection that never quite arrived. She started listening to this simple track with almost no hope left, and after about 2 weeks, she could only describe the change with one word: synchronicities. The right moments, the right people, a sense that life had finally started speaking in a language she could understand. What she felt was not magic, it was measurement. Dr. Robert Lake spent more than 3 decades mapping exactly how this frequency fades and how it can be woken back up. Work that was tested with brain scans in laboratories at places like MIT and Princeton and several others. The track simply uses gentle sound to guide your brain back toward gamma while you sit and listen for 7 minutes. No effort, no special skill. 18,366 people have used it now, and fewer than 4 out of every 100 ever asked for their money back, which tells you most of them kept listening long after they could have walked away. Now, I can already hear the doubt, Because you are wise, not gullible. You are thinking, I have tried things before and felt nothing, and this is probably the same. I understand that completely. But everything you tried before asked your own mind to change itself from the inside, slowly, with no guarantee. This works from the outside in, gently retuning the frequency directly, which is an entirely different thing. And I would never disrespect your situation by pretending money does not matter, because for many of us, it truly does. So let me be straight with you about what this is. A single therapy session can run $150. A weekend retreat, $400 to $800. A meditation app, $15 a month, that quietly renews forever. And not one of them was ever built to target this frequency directly. Dr. Lake took 34 years of work and pressed all of it into one 7-minute track, and instead of the usual $49, he set aside a price of just $39 for the people who find it through a message like this one. It comes with 4 gifts as well, worth around $80 together, a version made gently for children, a rare book, a guided journey through the main areas of your life, and a simple page of daily habits to keep the frequency awake. And if it does nothing for you, you have 90 full days to ask for every dollar back, and you keep all $80 of gifts anyway, as a thank you for your time. Every day that this frequency stays dimmed is not a neutral day. It is another day of decisions made through fog, another day of prayers that feel like they hit a ceiling, another day of living one quiet step below the life that is waiting for you. The version of you on the new road is already looking back at this moment as the day it turned. The choice does not have to be perfect, it only has to be honest. One more thing I have to protect you from. Because this works, there are copies and fakes floating around, using the same name, ordinary sound, with none of the real technology inside. The only place to find the true track, with all 4 gifts and the full guarantee, is the link in the description and the pinned comment below. Not on a store, not through a search, only there. So here, before anything else, do one quiet thing with me. Rest one hand gently over the center of your chest, right where the breath rises. Take one slow breath in and let it out. This decision is not really about $39. It is about whether you finally believe what your own spirit has been telling you about who you are. If the answer underneath that breath is yes, then you already know what to do, and the door is waiting right below. The genius song is there for you whenever you are ready. No rush. Only if you feel led. Now, let me come back to that one trap I warned you about. The quiet thing that could make you miss this whole redirection, even while it is happening to you. It is not a person, it is not the world. It is the grip of needing to stay in control. When the road recalculates, every instinct in you wants to grab the wheel and steer back toward the old plan. The familiar one, the one you understood. That grip feels safe, but on a reroute, control is the very thing that keeps you stuck. Surrender does not mean you do nothing. It means you stop white-knuckling a map that no longer matches the road in front of you. So I want to give you permission, the kind you may have been waiting a very long time to hear. You are allowed to release the plan you thought your life had to follow. You are allowed to release the timeline you have been quietly grieving. You are allowed to release the people who could only ever walk the old road with you. You are allowed to release the version of yourself that had to control everything just to feel safe. And you do not owe anyone an apology for trusting the turn that is finally taking you home. And this is the moment to remember who is actually being rerouted here. Because this update did not land on just anyone. You are the one who sees what others miss, who feels the shift in a room before a single word is spoken. You are the one who breaks the cycles that came before you, so they are never passed down again. You are the one who goes first, into the unknown, so that others can follow the path you clear. You are the one who holds steady when everything shakes, who does not collapse under a weight that would crush most people. That is not flattery. That is simply what you have always been, even in the seasons you felt invisible. So hear this clearly. You are seen, You are tracked. You are being moved. And as I sit here with this message for you, I keep hearing the same words rising, and I will give them to you exactly the way they came to me. I hear the Spirit saying, "You are not behind. You are not forgotten, and the thing I started in you, I fully intend to finish." I think of someone I heard about not long ago, an ordinary person standing right at the edge of a big decision, ready to sign their name to a plan they had chased for years. And right before they did, something stopped them. No dramatic voice, just a deep, quiet no that they could not explain and could not shake. They walked away from it, confused, almost embarrassed. 3 months later, the very thing they had almost committed to fell apart completely, and the space they had left open was filled by something far better than they had ever dared to ask for. They did not understand the stop while they were inside it. They only understood it later, looking back, the way we almost always do. They learned to trust the pause long before they could ever see the reason for it. So before we seal this, let me hand you the new way to read everything you have walked through. What felt like the road ending was actually the reroute beginning. What felt like silence was actually strategy, working quietly on your behalf. What felt like loss was actually space being cleared for what truly belongs to you. And what felt like delay was never delay at all. It was appointed time, lining up the door that is about to open. So, let us close this the way it deserves to be closed. Wherever you are, let your hands loosen, even just your fingers, as a small sign that you are done gripping the old map. Breathe in slowly, and as you breathe out, let go of the route you have been mourning. You do not live there anymore. Now quietly, receive the new one. Say it inside yourself if you can. I trust the turn. I receive the redirection. I am exactly where I am meant to begin. And as you hold that, I will seal it over you the only way I know how. I hear the Spirit saying this over your life right now. The old road is closed because I closed it. The new one is open because I opened it. Walk it without fear, for I am the one leading you. You are not lost, chosen one. You are found, and you are already on your way. Before you go, do one small thing to mark this moment, because what we name, we remember. In the comments below, simply type the word "received," so the part of you that was truly listening today leaves a mark you can come back to. If this message reached something real in you, let it know by giving it a like, which quietly helps it find the next person standing exactly where you were standing. And if someone you love has been feeling stuck and turned around lately, send this to them, because they may be sitting inside their own recalculating right now, just needing to hear that the new road is loading. Stay close for the next message, because the season is moving and there is more being released on time. Until then, walk gently. The update is live. You are already on your way.